What's up guys, King Crisis here. Welcome to the channel. If you guys new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Welcome to part 1 on what if Deku was the only male with a quirk. Now guys, this video is recommended by Jaden God What Ifs 14. Not only did he recommend this what if, he also basically paid for this what if. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. And let's start this video. The video starts off with a 4-year-old Deku sitting down in his class. Now his class is comprised of a class full of mostly females because of course at this point in time mostly females were born, okay? Guys are going to exist within the world obviously enough in order for humanity to function. Guys will be a thing and they will exist. But of course Deku goes to a school of mostly females because this school would mostly only take females. But due to Izuku's mother, who's going to be a very powerful lady, being basically around, the school would accept Izuku as well. Now, here's a big change. Izuku is going to have 2 older sisters. Now his older sister, her quirk would be Hellfire, giving her the exact same quirk as Endeavor. The same quirk as Endeavor. And his other sister would be Heat Dome, which gives her the ability to control heat within a certain area to the point where she can completely manipulate all forms of heat, making her way stronger than her sister, as well as there's Inko. Her quirk being heat manipulation and fire generation, giving her the power to control, generate, and manipulate heat. Okay? And fire. From here, Deku's grandmother on his father's side will have a very powerful telekinesis quirk. And from here, the quirks kind of mixed in because guys will have the DNA to basically, they have quirk DNA, but their bodies just aren't compatible with a quirk itself. Kind of like, you know how female witches are stronger than warlocks. Basically, something like that. But of course, everything changed with Izuku Midoriya being 4 years old, and he sees a little girl in front of him, Katsumi Bakugo, as she's using her powerful explosion quirk. Deku's eyes would turn to a red color. As he sees her using those explosions, Deku just is a bit invested. He can't but stop looking, as he would say, "Cool." As he says this, a few kids will turn around. They start laughing. "What are you gonna do, boy? You don't even have a quirk. How are you even gonna be able to use anything? Oh, wait a minute. We could use him as a breeding boy. Oh, you're right." All the girls begin to laugh and just point at Izuku about how quirkless he is. And Deku would just kind of be quiet because, well, it's well-known information that there's not a single male who has a quirk. There are no guys with quirks. There's no such thing as a guy with a quirk. I mean, the only guy with a quirk is All Might. Yeah, we're still gonna make All Might a male, and it's simply because, well, One for All is a quirk that can get passed down. So, All Might technically would still be able to. He's still able to have One for All, and the only reason All Might's the so-called only male with a quirk, he's the only male before Izuku came into play, and All Might isn't the only male because his quirk he wasn't born with. Deku was born with this power, and he looks onward towards Katsumi Bakugo as Deku says, "Shut up!" As he literally lifts up his hand when he says this, they all would laugh into a powerful red explosion would shoot out, and everyone in the room eyes would widen in absolute shock, especially the teacher. "The hell?" she would say, that's impossible!" As she would run on over towards Izuku's side. "Deku, Izuku, do it again right now." Deku looks at her. "Do what again?" The explosion. Do it again." Deku lifts up his hand as boom! Again, a red explosion, 10 times bigger than the one that Katsumi made, was released. She begins to blink repeatedly as she quickly calls the authorities. She doesn't call Izuku's family, no, she calls the authorities. As they come in and they would look at Izuku, not believing the doctor, until Izuku just starts to cry. And they look towards Deku confused as Deku would say his back hurts really badly. They were going over towards Deku and they see wings spawning out of Deku's back. They turn towards the teacher in shock. As then they will call Izuku's mother. And Inko would say, "What am I getting a call for right now? I'm busy." "Ma'am, it's about your son." She then says, "Ugh, what about the boy? Do I give a fuck about the boy?" "Mrs. Midoriya, what? Izuku has a quirk." "Bitch, what? The fuck you mean he has a quirk?" "Ma'am, we mean that Izuku has he has a he has a quirk, like literally. Inko says, I swear to God, if I come into the school and y'all are bullshitting me, everybody's getting fried. And it's impossible. He can't. He's a boy. Boys don't have quirks. Inko will say, damn, it's like a boy being a cheerleader. Wait, does that make him gay? Inko will question to herself instantly. And she says, whatever. She shows up to the school, and there, she would see the scene. Deku with large wings coming out of his back, and these wings have red lines going all across them, cracking through them. If you guys look at the thumbnail, you guys see the lines on this guy's face. Those are the exact lines that are on Deku's wings, and they are in fact large white angel-like wings. And Inko just looks at him and she's like, what the? Come on, boy! As she grabs Deku and basically drags him out, but as she begins to do so, she begins to realize pretty quickly that Deku feels weird. She looks towards Izuku and realizes that this is just that power that's coming off of him, that presence. She looks downward at her son. She takes him to the Quirk Doctor's office, where at first they refuse to do anything, but of course, given the fact that Inko's a top pro hero, they don't have a choice. They allow her to basically get Izuku examined. And well, he has a quirk, and his quirk is called Divine Copy. Inko looks forward. What? It then would say, well, it appears Izuku has the power to copy anything. She then would say, what do you mean by anything? They then would say, anything he sees bestowed upon him, he can copy. But that isn't only that. It appears he can copy and combine things that he copied. Inko would say, he can copy quirks. And yes, and not only can he copy them, he also combines the quirks that he copied. It's essentially he can copy an infinite number of quirks, and they're all going to be combined into one quirk. Inko then looks forward. Izuku, make an explosion again. Deku will create another explosion, and quickly, the next 10 years of Deku's life will pass, with Deku becoming a global phenomenon, a global sensation, the boy born with the quirk, because in this timeline, the information of One for All and All for One is public, so everyone knows that All Might wasn't born with One for All. Okay, they know that his quirk was passed on by Nana Shimura. So, given the fact that All Might wasn't born with One for All and the information is public, everyone pretty much makes fun of All Might. Even though he's like the strongest man on the planet, they all believe that since All Might needed a woman to get this power, All Might would never have this much power on his own because he's a man. So everyone makes fun of All Might. But Deku, he's different. Deku has a quirk that gives him the power to copy anything. And once it's copied, it's combined into his quirk itself. And well, things get crazy when they learn that Izuku doesn't only copy quirks. He copies fighting style, he copies techniques, and he can even copy items and even people themselves. Like, he can create copies of people. Izuku can create copies of himself. He can create clones. Like, they realize that his copy ability has no bounds. It has no real limits. If he wants to copy it, it can be copied. And well, Izuku becomes so famous, like, the edits go crazy. Like, he is a global phenomenon. He's an actor, he's a singer, Izuku's a dancer, Izuku is a billionaire, okay? He makes the richest pro heroes look broke, and mind you, this is all his money. Izuku is the star of his family, and well, his siblings hate it, okay? They genuinely hate it, because, well, he's a boy. He was not supposed to have this type of power, and all of a sudden, he got this power. Bullshit. They're very angry. They are very, very angry. But at the end of the day, there was nothing they can do. Izuku had lightning generation, lightning manipulation. He had lightning explosion. He had explosive lightning. Izuku could fly. Izuku could create clones of himself. Izuku could create clones of weaponry. Izuku had a creation quirk, allowing him to create weapons. He had a fire quirk, an ice quirk. He had a lava quirk. Like, Izuku had enhanced strength, speed, durability, and for some reason he had like insane regeneration, as well as the fact that he's just born with the perfect freaking physique, the perfect body. No one could challenge Deku. No one could disrespect Deku, because at the end of the day, Deku had true power. Deku was power itself. No matter how powerful you are, how dangerous you are, Deku was always better. His quirk was always better. And that was the problem. No one could contend with this much power. Eventually, several League of Villain bases begin to come around, and All For One, she begins to try figuring out a way to basically kill Deku. That's because with All For One, she can steal quirks and gives quirks, but a huge change to All For One is the fact that she can't give quirks to males. Only One For All can do that, which is kind of bullshit, but it's whatever, because we know Nomus are technically genderless, so you know. Well, they're not genderless, but I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make them genderless. But yeah, she realized the issues in this, and she wants anything in her power to happen for that boy to die before he could copy the quirks of All For One and One For All. Because if he copies them, then well, she's essentially done. She's done. So yeah, we time together. Blip, blip, blip. Start to the original timeline. With Deku being the strongest person in his state, no one, and I mean no one, challenges him in that school. He's basically a phenomenon. If anything, they're all just glazing him 24/7. And almost every girl wants his number because, like, this is how the world sees Deku. He is literally going to be the very thing that brings males with quirks into the world. To basically, how do I explain this? It's like the world sees him as like hope, basically. They see him as hope to make the world itself better. And every guy basically looks up to Deku. Because Deku will be the one thing that could give them quirks. So for some things to play out this way, Bakugo exists in this timeline, okay? Katsuki Bakugo exists. He's the twin brother of Katsumi Bakugo. But due to him being a male, he's been put in the same spotlight as her. He looks up towards Deku because he believes that if Deku were to somehow gain a quirk that allows him to share quirks, he could basically expand the power of males themselves. So of course, that's what things are. But we're not going to focus on this. We're just going to time skip to him underneath the tunnel. The sludge zone would pop out, where from here she would try to attack Deku. As she tells him, "Hey kid, I didn't know that Freak was in town. Give me your Oh, you're a male. Never mind. Wait a second. I know your face. You're Izuku Midoriya." Deku looks towards her. "Yeah, I am. What's it to you?" "Give me your body." Deku says, "Oh, you want my body? I mean, maybe if you wasn't such a freaky little monster, I'll give you my body. If you know what I mean." She looks towards him. "Ew, I'm not interested in children. Give me your body, and I'll make it easy for you, kid." Maybe. Nah, I don't want to do that. I'll think about it though. Bye. As Deku turns around and walks away, the sludge villain, she runs and pounces towards him. The second she does so, Deku snaps his fingers as a boom, a massive explosion comes off of its back. And that explosion was an explosion of pure lightning. It's kind of like an EMP going off. It strikes the sludge villain and she just melts instantly, loses her form, and she isn't able to put herself back together. Deku looks at her a bit disappointed. "Jeez, little lady, I was expecting a bit more from you. Maybe don't threaten me next time, or don't even try to attack me." As Deku lifts up his hand, the sludge villain begins to float into the air, with there she'll be condensed into a little ball. Deku would say, "I'll wait until a hero shows up here." And he would does so, and until eventually All Might shows up. "I am here!" Deku just looks at him. "Oh, you're All Might. Nice to meet you." All Might then would say, "Kid, did you see a?" Deku would point towards the sludge villain which he has floating in mid, like floating. And All Might's like, "Wait a minute, you're Izuku Midoriya." All Might would say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, kid." Deku says, "It's a pleasure to meet you as well, All Might-san." So from here, Deku would say, "It's really nice to meet you, but I gotta go." He would say, "Get the villain." All Might would take the villain, but from here he would appear in front of Deku. "Hey kid, did you copy any healing quirks?" Deku just looks towards him. "Yeah, I did. I mostly have lightning, fire, and ice-based quirks, but I do have a healing quirk." All Might will lift up his chest as he shows his wound. "Do you think you could fix that?" Deku just looks at it. Yeah? Can you try fixing it?" Deku just says, "Fine," as he proceeds to heal the wound within only a matter of a few seconds. All Might looks towards him. "Do everything you do glow red. Deku would say yes. The fire is red, the lightning is red, the ice is red. My rings, at least they're white and red, but they have red on them. So far, everything I do has red. Do you think it's because you're a male and your body isn't suited for quirks? Deku then looks towards All Might. Do you experience this? All Might explains that he experiences yellow lines sometimes. As Deku says, maybe it is. I don't know though. Who knows? Maybe I'm just evolving. Maybe that's what the lines are, an evolution phase. I mean, they don't hurt like ever, they just are there. All Might would shrug his shoulders, where from here he would tell Izuku, thank you, and he would like to train Izuku, meet him at Dagobah Beach. And boy, here's where things just get so unfair for the whole freaking verse. Because when they go to Dagobah Beach, All Might would train Deku and basically tell him that he wants to give him his quirk. And Deku would tell him that he already has his quirk. He just copied it months ago, like when they first met. What? As Deku would show off the power of One for All, charging it to about 20% because his body instinctually knows how much he can use. And well, he unleashes a massive punch that creates a huge shockwave, as well as him generating red whips as he used to snatch things towards him, and then he floats into the air. He would land on the ground, he would activate Fajin and blitz all around, and then he would activate Gear Shift, where from there he would control the speed of his lightning and makes it move faster and faster and faster. All Might looks at him so confused. Why did you do all that extra stuff? I only got super strength. Deku then looks at him and smirks. No, you have all of those quirks. All Might then looks at him confused. Explain. As Deku explains to All Might exactly how he has the quirks and exactly how to use the quirks. And All Might can do nothing but just look lost, cause like, he didn't know he can do that. This whole time, Deku would nod. You can most definitely do that. So from here, that's what All Might would do. He would continuously try to figure out more and more ways to use those abilities that Deku just showed him. And it doesn't take him very long. He figures them out pretty quickly during the 10 months of training, and this isn't fair anymore. It's an All Might with the powers of Ken and Deku at this point. But we ain't focused on that. What we are focused on is this version of Deku, who goes into the UA entrance exams, and he is just swarmed by girls. They swarm Deku. They basically, like, they are trying their hardest to get a little bit of attention. There's, of course, until Katsumi shows up. Get the fuck back! And she basically just starts demanding everybody gets the fuck off Deku. And Deku just looks at her. Dude, what are you being so extra for? She'll say, no one gets to touch you. Deku then says, oh my god, we're not even together anymore, girl. Leave me alone. She then would say, no. As she glares at Deku, and Deku just stares right back at her, just completely unfazed. You gotta calm down, bro. We're not even together anymore. She then would say, you can't leave until I say you can leave. Deku then just looks at her. Okay, well, I'm leaving. And he turns around and walks away, and she's like, bro, who do you think you are, Deku? Deku then says, I'm Izuku fucking Midoriya. That's who I am. Who are you again? Katsumi Bakugo? Yeah, like, do your own thing, bro. Leave me alone. We are not together. You are not my girlfriend. And Deku walks away. Katsumi then would yell, yeah, well, I... Deku then says, please, finish the sentence. Go ahead. He looks towards her. You know I don't discriminate. She would remain silent. Worse, from here, we cut on over towards the test. Deku easily aces the test. This version of Deku's hella smart. He's even smarter than his canon self due to him basically having a need to be smarter. Okay? He's smarter than his canon self. He's stronger than his canon self. And we just cut on over towards the robot exam. The robot exam will begin with the gates opening up. The second the gates open, Deku blitzes inside, speed blitzing so fast, a massive shockwave flies off from his pure speed. He jumps upwards into the air where he creates a giant red explosion and it instantly destroys a full-fledged three-pointer in one blow. He zooms forward, begins to destroy robot after robot, three-pointer after three-pointer, explosion after explosion, bolts of lightning after bolts of lightning. He zips all around, destroying these robots as if they're nothing. He jumps into the air, dodging a gigantic hand from a robot. As he zooms forward, charges a massive amount of lightning within his fist, and slams a punch right to the robot. From here, the zero-pointer would eventually arrive. As it arrives, a scream for help will be heard. Deku flies on over towards where Ochako is. He picks up the rubble, where from here, he looks at her and smirks. He picks her up, bridal style, as he zips on over towards the side. As soon as he zips towards the side, Deku looks forward. He then will say, Krunder. Not thunder, Krunder. as a massive red storm cloud would form over the zero pointer, and lightning begins to massively strike over and over. One boat, two boat, three boat, four boats, like lightning just continuously boats down on the robots. Over and over and over again. And Deku just smiles, devilishly. Well, it's gone. He turns towards Ochako. Hey, you okay? He proceeds to pick her up. She says, ow, 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 my leg, my leg, my leg. Deku says, hold on, be still. I got you. He proceeds to heal her leg. You alright? She looks at him. Yeah. Thank you. Deku says, you're welcome, anytime. He then looks towards her. What's your name? Ochako or Araka? Deku looks towards her. I'm Izuku Midoriya. She looks at him. Oh my god, I knew it was you. Well, obviously it's you. You're a guy with a quirk, but... Hi. She would say nervously. Deku looks towards her. You ain't gotta be nervous. It's okay. I'm just the same as you. He will shake her hand. Look. He goes to his back pocket. Here's my number. If you need anything, just text me. And if you... Just so I have it for any reason not make it to UA. He looks towards her and smirks. I can get you in. Or from here, Deku will walk off. And just like that, he pulled Ochako. Just like that, Ochako pulled. I ain't really gotta explain, just know Ochako's pulled. From here, we time skip. On over towards Deku making it back home. When he makes it home, he tells his mom that yeah, he got in. He tells his sisters he got in, but his sisters would ignore him. His mom would say congratulations, and his father would walk into the room, basically just hugging his son, telling him he did great. From here, we're going to be ending off part 1. Comment down below some more ideas. Don't worry. Your ideas will also be done. Okay, I have like 7 what ifs that are already in the making. Well, 8 technically, but I got 7 what ifs in the making. Okay, this one's part 1 in this video. This is basically a paid for video. I got to finish it. So just know it's going to be part 1, part 2, part 3 movie. Because I know how I feel about part 4s. I don't like them. Anyways, I'm out.